I so appreciate that I can keep people laughing. As 20 years ago I said, the only way I'm ever going to have a long-term career is to grow with my audience and not trying to be something I was a year ago. I said that's like, you know, I looked at that as like, even if that audience is the only audience you get, at least you grow with one audience that appreciates what you do. And the fact that you guys keep introducing me to more audience and inviting more people in, it's like 31 years in, I get to, from middle school up, it's cool to have things in your life that you like how they're aging. You like how they're evolving. You like how they're growing. Because, as we know, that doesn't always work. Sometimes you're like, okay, this is not to say that I haven't fucking stepped in some shit puddles, but for the most part, I like that you get it. Unheard of. You have more than 50 days than all of my favorite streamers. Dane Cook Gaming. If you need anything, my DMs are open. I'm willing to help as much as I can on every Twitch, Discord resources I have. I mean, I talked to somebody at Twitch today, and I was like, I got to be honest. I go, I'm on my Xbox One X. I mean, sorry, Series X. Getting tired. I go, I don't even. I'm not a sophisticated tech person in terms of how to build out. Forget about a podcast, but like a gaming hybrid. I was like, so I need all the help I can get. And he was like, oh, definitely reach out to the community. So I'll be working with Twitch to figure it out, and I'll be working with you guys. And don't be afraid to, if something comes along that you're like, dude, you should add this. Like, it's never bothering me to say, as community members, here's something we don't like. You know, somebody said to me a few weeks ago, like, hey, I like that your room is just your room. And no knock on Blue Thunder, because I think what Blue Thunder's created is such a dynamic aesthetic, but was saying like some people are, it's all style and no substance, and I'm very stylish, as we know, t-shirts and jeans for my whole life, but the idea of it being just true to form and real, um, as opposed to trying to, you know, fit in and go like, oh, it's gotta follow some kind of trend. Um, Hell yeah, dude. So the point of that is, yeah, OMG, anybody. Um, I've always stayed close to my fans. Always felt like, you know, I got. Sorry, I'm on a tangent because I'm tired, but I used to get shit sometimes. There was a comedian. His name was David Cross, and he was somebody I actually liked out of Boston, but he was real. He was just never nice to me. He was just never welcoming, and if I'm being very honest, he was kind of a dickhead to me. But I just didn't say anything ever. And over the years, he would knock me for my rapport with my fans. And one time he was like, "Oh, he just panders with his panders," and I'm like, "Dude, it's no, this is called being entrepreneurial and understanding your quote customers. This is understanding like what people. I, I keep my integrity. I don't build an act around people saying you should do this. That has nothing to do with my act. But if you learn what people like, if you learn where somebody's from, if you learn, um, you know, hey, your merch last year, the quality wasn't good. It's like, oh, I need to know that. I'd rather thank you. I wouldn't have known that if I might have stayed with a shitty fulfillment company that just doesn't care about to me, pandering is when you're just begging people basically to come in and look at what you do. When you're connected to your customers, consumers, fan base, friends, then that relationship should be like, I'm listening too. I wonder whatever happened to David Cross. He was on Mr. Show for some years, and I think I saw him at a coffee shop once, and I think he got nervous, like I was going to come up and confront him. But I've never had an actual long form conversation with him. But he, yeah, he made the early part of my comedy career really kind of tough. He was just a jerk off. So unnecessary too. Watch Vicious Circle and my teens. You're still one of my favorites. Still is. Oh, that special still is. Nice to see you in here. A lot of motivation growing up, man. You're doing great. Dude, you kept me laughing a lot. You movies at least twice a week. You're part of my childhood, really. Um, you're great. Happy you're here. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you. Very cool. Hey, Platinum followed me. Let's see. Said here because love David. Yeah, no, I mean, I always thought he was a talented guy. He was not nice to me over the years. I remember one time he wore. I had a show called Torgasm, which you can stream on HBO. It's if you have HBO Max. Um, it's kind of funny to watch it now because like the styles have changed and the music and the for a number of reasons. Now it's funny because it's dated, but it's still good comedy. And for a number of reasons, I still have such a strong affinity to it. But he wore like a Torgasm shirt on his special, and like when he held it up, his crowd was laughing. Like it was like elitism comedy. Like I'm better than this piece of shit, and they were. It was so weird. I remember calling my mom and being like, "Remember that comic who was such an asshole to me in Boston?" She was like, "Yeah. What did he do now?" He's like wearing my shirt during his special, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "He's a moron." He still does stand up though, right? Cross was an ass. I met him coming through when I was trying stand up comedy in Omaha. Weird. Like, why? Why? And he was such like kind of a nebbishy nerd, and you're like, maybe he got picked on when he was in school or whatever, and like you're like, oh what? Oh, now because you sling jokes, you're like just gonna treat people like terribly. Anyway, the point is, if David Cross is on tour, go see the show. Granberry. He's probably upset because I was selling out arenas and he was playing a fucking carnival somewhere in Hingham, Massachusetts. Hodaka 9, 8 something I can't say. You're the main reason I still attempt stand-up comedy. Well, spoiled. Thank you for all the nice comments tonight. Let me finish up here. Last couple. It's like people at the cellar who continue to depend on that location to propel their careers. A great place, but at times change your ability and connect changes. I'm happy to see your. Well, what happens is cronies start to form. You don't like have your individuality because you just become like at the mercy of the vibe of the club. And people don't even realize, I came up with some great comics out of Boston, and then they're not as great anymore because they conformed to a club's energy only, and they forgot to be a entertainer. Bad, bad. Alf Metal 78, dude, what a great name. So crazy to see how many people here followed you since 700 a month ago, Scotty. Ah, man, I know it's kind of bonkers. People are petrified of competition in life, says Parlay. Um, yeah, it's even weirder though because in a career that's as difficult as this, where there's a lot of sacrifice to be an entertainer, I know that like doesn't mean much when you see somebody who's quote made it, even though, trust me, even when you make it, there's a lot of fucking hardcore tough stuff to keep your head above water. But before you get any opportunity to do that, it's like I've seen so many people that just like they're taking shots at somebody coming up the ranks because they don't even want to give them a chance to get close, you know? Like they're just trying to protect their spot. Dane Cook plays Warzone. Nice. Dude, I play the shit out of that game. David Cross of Alvin and the Chipmunks fame. You know what's so funny? It's funny you said that. Because he was the kind of guy that if somebody else did a voice character, he would destroy them and call them a sellout, and he would verbally lambaste somebody. But then when he did it, he could make fun of it and kind of be like, "Ha ha, see, look what." And it was like, "Oh, dude." Just come out and go, hey, you know what, guys? For a number of years, I was just a shithead, and I'd like to reset. And if you want to approach me and say hello, I'd like to do better from this day forward. Now I don't even think we're talking about David Cross anymore because I don't know him and you don't know him and nobody knows him. And now I think that the name David Cross has just become synonymous with like people that are lost within themselves in compensating by trying to have some control over people. Comedy snobs, yeah, it's a rough business, you guys. I'll tell you. Sometimes over the years, I'd get shit, um, because when I first started, I was pretty beta and pretty like just introvert into myself, like inside, and then I had to become way more alpha and like, even though I was kind of this gaming, not nerd, but I was like definitely low key and kind of I was an introvert, but I had to become tough and push back because some of the very people that were came out swinging at me and he's this, he's that, were the people that were trying to drown me early before I could get out of the fucking shallow end of the pool. I was like, wow, you motherfuckers. So I had to like become a warrior to fend off when in truth I loved the comedy community because I wanted it to be more inclusive, which it still is, and my community is, and I make sure I try to provide that whether it's here or anywhere in my comedy. But for a long time, it was like I got a reputation because I was like, I have to become an asshole because if I don't, they're going to take this all away from me. Now, at 50, do I look back at those moments at 25 and go, I don't know if they really actually could have taken it away from me. But picture this. I had no clue what fame even was. There was no playbook. I didn't come from an industry family. So I was scared that they were going to take it away from me because there was a lot of people coming at me, not rooting for me in comedy. So I did have to become like, all right, fuck all you motherfuckers and kind of scare them away, you know, keep them at bay. Um, yeah, I've been writing a book for the last few years, and there's a couple of chapters about some of the comics I came up with. You know, I came up with Burr, came up with Patrice O'Neill, came up with Gary Gulman, came up with Chappelle out of New York. Who else was back there at the time? And Jay Moore, and Jim Norton, and Brewer, and I tell a bunch of stories about like my experiences with these guys. Great stories, hard stories, but that's part of the book, man. Is me having to like show people like yeah, you may not like every decision I made, but some of it was solely based on I was getting erased internally because I'll say it like this, just between us. It was like other people are like, I've been doing this longer, therefore I should win next. And when that didn't happen and I like, you know, excelled, it pissed people off because they thought, well, I'm next. I'm funnier longer, so I should be next. And I was like the first comic of my generation to get there, that upper echelon, and then finally be like, oh, fuck. Now I also have to face all these people who all they're hearing from morning DJs every day when they were on the road trying to sell tickets to their great little shows. Why don't you do what Dane Cook does? So I was being, and nobody wants to hear that because they're like, fuck, I'm trying to whittle out this little piece of, so it was almost like, it was almost like a resentment the way we were talking about David Cross. You didn't even know me. You didn't know my relationship with my mom and dad and how much they meant to me. You didn't know the heartache of going through trauma with my sibling. You didn't know how hurtful it was when comics that I admired just took shots at me. And it was like, and by the way, not going to be a hypocrite, you don't know me when I'd fuck up and I'd make mistakes and I'd hurt people's feelings or I'd do something that was like beyond the scope that I felt bad about. You didn't even know me to know that I have contrition. You don't even know me to know I care if I misstepped and hurt somebody and was like, fuck, now I'm the person who is so protected that now I'm doing things sometimes that are pushing people back and causing them to stumble. And I don't want to be that person either. I just want to be zen. I just want to be funny. I just want to enjoy my career and not I thought it was all inclusive. I thought everybody get a shot. Everybody works hard. The politics I learned in the last 15 years that now I can look back at 25 to 50 and be like, "Oh fuck. I I I sometimes wish I just said nothing." Even though I said nothing when some people attacked me in the press because when you fight can't fight lies. Big thing I learned from my dad. If you fight lies, if somebody lies about you and people are believing it, you can't fight it. Makes it look like you're trying to remove the lie because it's true. You don't win with it. My dad's like, you don't win with it. It's going to happen in life. Everybody's going to get lied about, and you just have to take the hit. And the people that really love you are going to get to know you, and your personality and your character will outlast the lie. It is true, but nobody wants to be lied about, and it's fucking hurtful, man. I had some, big time comics say some shit about me that was like, damn, man, you're trying to ruin my business. And I didn't fight back, you know, because it was like I can't fight the lies, but still some of those things stuck even on the internet. And you're like, fuck, and that just made me wanna sometimes fight back harder, but not in the way of like hurting people, but just becoming more successful to show people I use this negative energy and I turn it into a positive. But it's crazy to look back now and go, oh man, there were more times where I could have just gone home, grabbed some games, be around people that like me, appreciate me, that I like, that I appreciate, and not worry so much about the noise. The hardest thing to do. At 25, you couldn't have told me that, but I still tell people that I mentor and somebody who's 25, 18 today, if you can fucking be quiet and not let the noise make you react, because the noise makers want you to react. Because when you go, fuck, they know we got you. And they know they took some energy away from you. And that energy instead could have been put into something to build or something to help others or something to encourage yourself or encourage somebody you love. And they know, nope, we just depleted that motherfucker. Because they're punching at air now. Because our lie is just, it's brutal, man. I've learned so much. It'll be in the book. It's the longest, worst ad for a book sale that you've ever heard. Point is, buy the book. You look like a younger James Hetfield. That's kind of cool. I always thought he was kind of fucking ruggedly, like a little scary, but still kind of like, oh, he seems like somebody you'd have a good time hanging out at the prom with. Whatever. I'm tired. Okay, guys. We gotta wrap this up. Still get the same energy as Harmful as Swallowed. Guy was insanely hype. Haha. Mr. Executive, you know it. When I get on stage, that's real energy. That was never a put on. I miss Patrice too. I wish he was alive, man. I miss him. I need that guy sometimes. OMG, you're right. Good to hear this stuff. Well, Cap City, I'm glad you appreciate it. I've started to hear myself and I was like, am I on a fucking am I on a ramble that's become a tangent, that's become a run-on sentence? Didn't you talk to Andrew Schultz on his podcast about this? And about no, I wasn't. I've talked to Schultz, but he hasn't invited me on the podcast. Actually, we've talked about grabbing a lunch or whatever. But yeah, no. When I was promoting Above It All, I reached out and just gave him his flowers and said if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. But we haven't connected. You guys are nice. I'm glad that you like my rant. Change the name to Real Talk with Dane Cook, famous comedian. Click now. Stop. Fossabot, put that up. That's pretty fucking funny. If they made a movie about your book, who would you want to play you? Motherfucker, me. I want that paycheck. Me. I'm gonna take that money and buy a power PC. Dane went from comedian gaming. Well, I'm gonna add gaming to comedies to TED Talk. Real nice stuff. I love it. Oh man, I want a bowl of cereal. Any sequel to a movie you want to do? Yeah. Ready? Here's what I want to do. I want to blow TikTok. Guys, apologize. I'm tired. I want to blow Twitch up, and then once we get enough noise in here where people are like we need like Forbes to write an article like Dane Cook just took over a corner of Twitch. Then we get Employee of the Month 2 made because I have a great idea. I have a script in my head. Somebody would write it easy. I know where all the characters go. A very fun, absolutely enjoyable, nostalgic at the same time with Dax and I, Employee of the Month 2. I got a great idea. But the only way we're going to get it made is if we make Lionsgate see us because they own it. I don't own the movie. I think Stars might have bought Lionsgate's catalog. Somebody, either Lionsgate still owns it or Stars, the network, bought Lionsgate's catalog. One of those two would have to greenlight it. And by the way, we make that super cheap. You shoot the whole fucking thing at like a Costco. So the budget on that movie is nothing. We could make that movie in a heartbeat. But we're only going to get permission from the people that own it. I think you're genuine. Always thought that you came up hardcore. You came up with hardcore people. I always felt like I did come up with hardcore people. Ooh, man. But I will say that some of them have apologized. I've had some really beautiful conversations with people that really did me dirty. And yeah, I have broken bread recently with a couple of comics that were real jerk offs, and I was like, you know what? Just appreciate you owning it. And it hurt my business and it hurt my fans' feelings because that was the thing too. Sometimes it was just like stuff that my fans would write me and be like, "Dude, is this true?" And it was like, "Oh, ugh, like that blows." Or when my mom would read something, my family. My mom passed away before like some of the severe spanking machine moments in my career. She got to see a lot of the awesome stuff. Huge arenas, Saturday Night Lives, all that. But yeah, my family, my sister Courtney especially, she'd be like, "Why are they saying that? It would hurt." And I was at that point, I was like fucking a road dog. I could take anything. I was like Courtney and a comedian, so it's like nothing could penetrate. But it did hurt when I saw my family hurt, you know, because they knew how hard I worked. And to be a comedian is a real sacrifice. That's what I never understood about comics. If you know what I've had to give up to do this and those sad, long, lonely road trips where there was no money and nobody cared that you were coming and you didn't even know where the next gig, like you had to do that and I had to do that. Like, don't be a shithead to me. You don't have to like my comedy. You don't have to like me, but you still have to respect me, because I put in the 10,000 hours. That's where that is so different from athleticism. And I grew up as the son of my dad, who is a huge athlete. And it's like in athleticism, you don't have to like your opponent at all. But if they are by the playbook and they've worked their body out and they run that route, like you respect them, even if you don't, even if you have met them, and even if they're not a good person, you still in sports go like, hey, I got to give it up. So and so is they're a beast on the field. That's what I thought the dedication to the arts was, but nobody is coming up being like, yeah, man, I heard that you put, you know, uh, 8 cars in the junkyard over the years from, the amount of wear and tear on them that you just wore them out, and then you bought yourself another little shitty Chevy Cavalier to drive to the next bunch of gigs that nobody gave a fuck about. Me too. Look at us, man. This is great. It's not that's not comedy. That's not the comedy community, unfortunately. Super cutthroat, super competitive. I'm glad I have the mentors I have in it and the people I love. And I love the next gen. I'm really close to the next generation coming up. I feel like whatever, like 18 to 30, like we're tight. We're tight. Like I'm available. I'm there for them. Legal advice, failure advice, success advice, sometimes relationship advice, even though, you know, I wouldn't even know what to give there. I'm like, dude, I've been off the market for so long. It's like, but the point is, like, yeah, whoever said that, my group coming up was un, unnaturally harsh to uh, each other sometimes, not just me, but each other. But a lot of them know it, and a lot of them have owned it. And you would be, I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to do that here. You'd be surprised at some of the people that have been really fucked up and shitty, and come forth and said, "I was wrong." And I say, "You were, but you can still be right." So I'll be on Warzone tonight. Do you play duos? Hmm, great. I wish I could read all these. I dream. Oh, somebody got fucking timed out. Ooh, and removed. Ooh, a couple of people are getting fucking buzzsawed. Wire. Just sticking up for me here. I don't know what they said, but I'm not even going to go back and look. 100 more and we hit 21,000. I'm so tired, but do you think we can get 100 more? We could do this in real time. We could know we hit 20,000 and 21,000 together. Is that even possible in here? There's 400 people. I feel like most people in here have already followed. So maybe I just go to bed and hopefully wake up and it's close or past it. I think I'll do that. Because your boy's tired and it's 1:35. Everybody, thank Wire for his great mod support tonight. Pretty much the whole time I've been on for 5+ hours. Thank you, Wire. Thank you, Wire. Good night, everybody. I'm going to go. 6 hour stream. But we're this close to 21,000. Oh my God. How fucking crazy. Woo. Oh wait, somebody said followed you when you had just 236 followers. D-Bag Bob. D-Bag. Here, look at us now. Look at us now. All these minutes later. I'm about to blow this shit. I have so many great ideas that have never even touched Twitch or vice versa. But I need the success on here. If I blow it up and it's like, damn, what the fuck is Dane Cook doing? Then this, us, we're going to do some stuff that like, we're going to look at each other and be like, we did this. We did this together. It's like, but you need a gaming PC. I'll, I promise I'll get there. I'll get better equipment. But I'm a casual gamer, so I love it. I love it. I don't fucking like PCs and updates and having to open 9 windows and turn it on, boom, I'm in the game. The Dane train. The Dane train. I wish it was a gaming PC that came like an Xbox, where it's just like, it's already done. It's fucking Death Star blazing fast, and you just plug it in, and you don't have to even open up a home screen or anything. It's just a box that looks like a console, but it's a computer. I can set all that shit up for you. King, Really awesome of you to offer that up. You can get a Stream Deck and hit the button and literally see. That's what I don't know about. I know about Stream Decks, but I don't know the true power of what a Stream Deck can do. Dane fucking Train hype. All right, guys, I feel the love. I gotta go. I'm fading. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna boogie. Good night.